Greetings, adventurers! We have some exciting news for you. We've grown our team to the point where we feel like we can consistently release a new episode of Dark Dice on the 16th of each month. That's right, the 16th. This is all thanks to the generosity and loving support of our Patreon team. That's right, you, our listeners, our fans, we love you. Never in a million years did I imagine that my D&D hobby would become a podcast. Nevertheless, one that people would be interested enough to support. So thank you. You have my sincere thanks, as well as the thanks of the players, actors, musicians, and everyone that we work with. If you happen to join our Patreon, we also have quite a few goodies there, including our brand new alpha of our world book for Dark Dice that we're putting together called Old Tyrol, the Dark Dice Adventure Guide, which we're adding to each month based on your feedback. Additionally, we'd like to forewarn you, this episode in particular is extremely long. No joke, I'm terribly sorry, this one clocked in at over the length of 3 normal episodes, but there wasn't really a way to break it up that felt right, given that we also intend to release a mega fun and totally canonical April Fool's episode on the 16th of next month, featuring one of my all-time favorite voice actors, Christopher Guerrero, the voice of Overlord's Ainzul Gone, joining us in the hilarity. Oh, and speaking of which, we have a content warning on this episode for some hilarious fake vomiting near the 20-minute mark or so, so as always, please be sure to check the content warnings at the bottom of our show notes before listening to this episode while eating a soup and leaving us a 1-star review saying we didn't warn you. Lastly, before we get started, we have a quick word from our sponsors.
Shalis de Pace. Salis.
Do you seek him?
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 Do you seek the nameless god?
You have found yourself among those who roll the dark dice. What you are about to hear happened long ago. A story brought back from the edge of oblivion, dutifully transcribed and enhanced orally to better captivate your attention. Previously, a team of adventurers survived horrors in the woods and reached the edge of civilization. Now, with new mysteries to be solved, they looked for ways to aid a dying village. Dark Dice, The Long Road. Chapter 6, The Worst Kinds of Monsters. When the team awoke, it was already late in the afternoon. Their bodies aching, still fatigued and exhausted, it was the pangs of hunger that pulled them from their slumber. And as they were consuming the leftovers from the previous night, an athletically cut man with tan skin, a gut, and short dark hair descended the stairs.
Morning. Did any of you want bread or rice today, or fresh bath water?
Good morning. Where's Ias?
He left.
So soon. I thought he'd at least say goodbye.
He seemed in a rush, which was kind of strange given our previous discussions about custody of the inn, and said it was important that he not put off bringing the children home any longer. To their new home, rather. I'll admit it sounded kind of suspicious at first, but he took the kids with him, and his lucky set of hiking boots.
The hiking boots. So he's not coming back.
Yeah, he made that much clear.
So he's sold the inn to you?
That's one way to put it.
He just left it with you?
Yeah, kind of. When he left town to find his son, he didn't come back. Long after it was assumed he was, dead. The inn changed hands and was eventually assigned to me. When he came back, it caused a bit of a dispute, but we came to an agreement. I gave him a couple of days to straighten things out here, and he left last night.
Understood.
It's real rough out here in these frontier villages of the Brightvale, You got, all this wilderness all around, and very few travelers come through here to trade or spend money. This building is the heart, the lifeblood of Ilmater's hope, and it couldn't stay unoccupied. If a village doesn't have a good inn, it's not going to stay on the map for long, and eventually it'll just vanish.
Certainly. A very important pillar of the community here.
Thanks. We kind of met last night, but my name is Neddard.
Good to meet you, Neddard.
Great to meet you. If you don't mind me asking, Where do you guys hail from?
Oh, I guess we're from all over, really. Trying to decide which direction to head next.
Well, if you need suggestions, I'm from Auden. Or you can take the other split in the North Road to Zaldstadt or the nearby villages. Or if you go east, there's...
You said, Auden, is that near Westman's Hold up north?
Well, it's in the same direction, but Westman's Hold is significantly further north. It's like a couple of days, like a 3-day horse ride. And on that topic, if you're looking to travel, I have a bunch of wares for sale for travelers, such as yourselves, if you're interested.
Anybody for purchasables?
I don't know what a purchasable is, being a dragonborn, but I think we're hanging around town for at least a couple days.
Well, you want to rent a room for a night, then. Another night will be 5 silver for all of you. Total, not individually.
It's a stark increase from last night, but...
Ias covered you last night. It's up to you or not. It's a reasonable rate, but you can always sleep in the snow. It's legal.
You're a Hell Shield, right?
More or less.
So maybe we could trade for services. Glom, Soren, and myself are well-known monster hunters. No offense intended, Ildrex. Your boss, Nix, mentioned something about a haunted church. Perhaps you'd give us lodging and ale and maybe some food while we look into your ghost problem. And I sternly wink at him with the self-confidence of a woman who's clearly killed countless men.
Gaelle's intense eyeliner and strong intimidation role impressed Neddard, who suddenly seemed to treat her with more respect than the others.
You know, I could do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. If you would deal with this ghost problem, you could have a week free. And I'll try to find you horses that'll take you to Auden. And throw in some stuff from the shop.
Well, as long as it's good stuff.
Not okay stuff, not okay stuff.
Yeah, done.
And this lodging would include beer for my brother and my friends.
Okay, and beer for your brother and friends.
This is a good deal to get rid of your ghost problem. Also, side quest.
Yeah, because tourism is such a big trade through here, I'm sure, right now.
Now, we also had a meeting last night, and the Hell Shields have agreed to throw in a bounty of 20 gold.
You really don't like this ghost.
While ghost stories are good for tourism, real ghosts are terrible for business. That church could play an important part of the town's revitalization, but that can't happen while people are getting harassed by spirits.
So what information do you have about the ghost?
Well, I got none on the ghost, except that we think it might be joined by a second ghost, or simply be the ghost of a woman who was murdered by a pair of dwarves who stayed here, and defrauded me 2 nights' income. The ones who have the bounty on them.
Right. Has anyone else from here, or perhaps from elsewhere, tried to take care of your ghost problem?
Not really.
With an insight roll of 14, and seeing his nervous nose scratch, I ask him, "Are you sure?"
Well, we sent a few guys, to confirm that there actually was a ghost problem. And there was. We lost 1 or 2 of them. Now, the other 2 didn't come back. Deserters, I think. Bounty on those spineless cowards.
Right. How many of your friends went in to take care, or did they go in?
4 in total.
What were their skills?
Hell Shields, so skilled with every instrument of combat.
Right.
But in this case, 2 swordsmen, a hammer shieldsman, and a double pendulum specialist.
Interesting.
Lovely.
Well, taking care of the incorporeal is sometimes a difficult thing with a sword and a shield.
I wouldn't know, honestly. But I think there was a letter. The dwarven criminals you're looking for, one of them had a letter here waiting for them when they came back.
Really?
Did she pick it up?
Yeah, they picked it up.
Did you read it before she did?
Maybe. You take care of the ghost. We'll talk more.
I would never accuse you of mail fraud, but just curious.
Well, I might have read some, It wasn't that well sealed, and, steam from washing dishes sometimes loosens those shoddy seals all on their own. An honest slip-up.
And you'll only share this letter with us if we successfully get rid of this ghost?
If you get rid of the ghost, or whatever it is that haunts our church, I'll tell you what it said.
Fair enough.
We're, I think, going to look into what's going on in the church and see if there is anything we can do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Perhaps we could just have a few moments, kind sir. We'll just go over here to this side of the room.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. I've gotta go out to pick up your beers.
So it appears that everyone is fleeing this town. They want us to go north, and I must admit 700 gold sounds mighty nice, split 4 ways. But I have to wonder, why, if Lord Percy and Sir Alias, if he's real, are all going south, we could just go south and join them again. Glom turns to Gaelle. Percy was a good man, Gaelle. And
He is, but we have our own tasks to do now. Our own new quarry to hunt, and I've grown to like our new friends. And I think someone as dangerous as this Rowena should probably be stopped. It's up to you, though. We could just run away, or, you could pick up your sword.
Glom straightens up a little. I'm not suggesting we run away, I'm just saying.
Gaelle smirks at him.
Fine.
So we're not running away, then?
Fine. Alright, well, what do we know about these Hell Shields, or whatever they're called? They seem to be bandits that are sort of taking over. They don't...
You said it earlier, they're basically mercenaries. And if House Osmark is hiring their lot, that technically makes them men of the crown, not bandits.
As much as they might be keeping order in this town, I feel like it might not be the best for this town.
Mm-hmm. And they seem very intent on us getting whatever ghost right, or whatever it is in this church out. For some reason, there must be something down there they want.
I suspect it has more to do with them wanting to turn the church into a temple for Ukathe. The old building has strong bones that go back further than anyone living in this village.
That was oddly specific, but also logical.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 working theories about this side quest, and both of them shine a poor light on our employers.
Let's remember that we also saw a group of the Hell Shields in the forest that didn't seem to be faring that well. Keep in mind they're quite well known for being skilled in combat, and that it's rare to find them in such a state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They'd been decimated, destroyed. While they slept even, some hadn't even woken. Well, it sounds like we're going excavating in a church.
So, are we in agreement?
I think so. Yeah.
We're going to the church.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have a torch?
Nope.
No, I believe I have 3 of them.
Glom stops and takes one of the candles off the wall and then walks out the door.
But I said I had 3.
Soren stood in the doorway behind the team for a moment, holding 3 unlit torches before sighing and following them into the flurry of snow beyond, continuing on their path toward the church.
Ildrex, what's our word? Pineapple still?
Yeah. I think that's what we said.
What if they hurt us? Do we need a new word?
What if they hurt us?
Hurt us? What if they heard the word because I was shouting it in the forest?
Well, stop yelling the word.
Okay, fine.
All right. You want another word? Let's come up with another word.
I'm fine with the same word. I'm just asking.
Yeah. Let's go with pineapple.
Don't say it.
Let's go with the word that you have already said and now you don't want me to say.
All right.
As the team turned the corner, they saw the remains of the old church silently brooding before them, its ancient hollowed stone walls now defaced with graffiti and marks of defecation. The aged wooden doors that once formed its entrance were now scattered on the grounds before its shattered frame. Words carved in common over it, burned for emphasis, read, "Not these gods, never again." The windows were broken, charred black. Whatever stained glass images they once framed lost forever. Only a single band of rope and a curious line of white on the floor stood between them and their passage into the ruins.
Just gonna walk over the rope as casually as possible.
No signs of movement from the exterior looking in. The sun is getting close to setting, but I can still see fairly well inside. The main hall has been vandalized, its windows are broken, and Soren's walking in.
Come inside. It seems safe for now.
The marble statue of Celagon is missing, and the small icon of Illuvian that West Pike promised he'd bring back. This area had a bronze relief that once held hundreds of candles. It's all gone.
I suspect that the cuts, bits of hay, charred wood, and beds were not part of the intended design.
No.
Nor that body back there.
Gaelle pointed to a blackened corpse at the far end of the room, which was made more bare by the partly crumbling vaulted ceilings.
Ildrex goes in and, I guess, after scoping things out a little bit, goes and checks the charred remains of that person.
This is where the pulpit used to be.
The corpse appears to be, a female, I think. Dwarven, or else half-dwarven. That right there is a stab wound, probably from a dagger. It's over the heart. Do you think this was part of a sinister ritual, maybe?
No. Her wrists, while fairly charred, do not show signs of being bound, or the sort of scarring you'd expect from an unwilling participant.
I feel like she was stabbed first, then burned, or spontaneously combust after being stabbed. In any case, all of her possessions are fairly useless at this point for identification purposes. She's not armed to the teeth, so I feel like this is the woman that we heard about. The murdered one.
Yeah. Rousin.
I think so. There's also... It's a slight hint of something in the air. Perhaps this place has been used by people... Whoever was here recently might have been doing so recreationally, looking to hide some drug use before the fire. Is the green leaf legal in this realm?
What are the exits from this room?
So, beyond the entrance and the windows, with a very impressive perception roll, I start moving a few paces from the corpse. There might be some sort of hidden door over here, directly beneath Glom. I don't know. There's a, it looks like a seam on the ground that I think I can pull up.
Perhaps that, crypt that was spoken of.
Ildrex blew the dirt off the seam, and with a mighty and swift motion lifted the trap door, revealing darkness and a set of old wooden steps leading down through it.
There's no other way out of this building. Anybody fought a ghost before?
Ghost. It's just someone or something they're afraid of, and Glom goes down with whatever light I'm holding.
As Glom descended the creaky old wooden stairs with a small candle from the inn, he required a dexterity saving throw.
12.
Glom took 5 damage as he felt a sharp pain in the back of his ankle. The smell of his own blood his only thought as he fell uncontrollably down the stairs, arms flailing until they found purchase in the solid dirt at the end of his journey. A mere 10 feet below the entrance, but without the candle, Glom could only just barely make out that he was now within the dark undercroft, roughly the same dimensions as the structure above.
Halt! There may be a trap! Something cut my ankle!
Are you all right?
Just peachy! I think I'm fine. There's... the light's out. Does anyone have a torch?
There aren't any torches up here.
Of course there aren't any torches.
Just beyond Ildrex's view, Soren shot a hurt look that could not fully be translated in podcast form.
I said I had 3.
Okay, it's dark, but Glom's gonna look around with a 7.
There's a smell down here. Somehow worse than upstairs. Bodies. Oh, great. More dead bodies. I also, hear something. Sure, it's nothing. I might not be alone down here.
Ildrex jumps down, not using the stairs.
Gaelle runs down the steps.
Taking just a quick moment while alone, I think Soren might run back to the corpse. We need to know what Rousin saw when she died. We need to know if it was Rowena that did this. Oh, you're probably right.
Watching the others depart from view, Soren produced an old bronze lantern worn with age and tarnish, containing a small black candle. Without action, the candle flashed to life, burning with an emerald flame.
Soul of the fallen, I command you to return.
Speaking low and incomprehensibly, the flame's light grew and grew, casting the old church into a hideous green. Time seemed to slow as the flickering light threw writhing shadows that made the old stone walls undulate like flesh. The splinters of charred wood and cloth squirmed like a mass of bugs. Unnoticed by those below, but consuming all of Soren's focus, a familiar ethereal figure was pulled, screaming from the afterlife into the material plane back toward the charred corpse that she once occupied, through the familiar dagger-sized hole in her heart, pushing back the muscle down into the bone and coagulated blood. The corpse began to twitch, convulse, and a tortured scream left her melted lips.
What foul magics have brought me back to this? Back to this broken body.
Sorry for your pain. Who killed you, Rousin?
Soren! It was so fast. So fast. Oh, that red-headed bitch.
Was it magic or what happened?
She attacked me. Used the dagger. I didn't even see her go for it.
If you're here, then you're not the thing that's killing people. Do you know anything about a monster? Perhaps in the basement of the church? Maybe a ghost?
No, not a ghost. Sacrifices were made, and our prayers were finally answered. The prophet came, and one of us drank. Drank of the blood. The rest of us were not worthy. Please, let me go. I told no one.
Why did you summon it? Why did they drink the blood?
At first, we wanted vengeance for what happened. Then, when called to face justice for our actions, we were given the chance to avoid it. To rebel against our oppressors. Please let me go. I was too weak. Hurt no one. My only crime is finding solace in the pipe and bottle.
Not yet. Who are your conspirators and who are your oppressors?
My fellow villagers of Ilmater's. Hope. We had lost hope. Those who had children taken. Those from Odin are our oppressors.
Hell Shields and their employers.
Soren noticed a slight shift in the wind as a brief flash of firelight came from the open trapdoor. Now unsure of exactly how much time had passed, Soren's mind began to wander toward the safety of his companions.
Please.
Enjoy the void. See you with off. I release you.
As Soren expunged the light from the candle, the burnt church returned to the physical realm, a site of failed ambitions, lost faith, a place free from the tormented spirit of Rousin. Her soul, white as smoke, clawed free from her broken body, ascending through the tall rafters like a pillar of choking haze as Soren turned for the trapdoor. Meanwhile, 10 feet below where he stood a few moments before this conversation began, Glom found himself in the dark confines of the Undercroft, the glint of 2 animalistic eyes in the distance staring back at him with hungry anticipation.
Who's there? Don't come any closer.
With a quick dexterity roll, Glom clamored for his candle, relighting it by sparking his wrist guard over his gorget. In the dim glow, a woman stood above him 2 paces away, hungry and panting heavily. Wet and dried blood dripping over her toothy smile and down her chin. Her eyes, as red as the hood she wore, stared attentively at Glom, not as if he were a warrior, not even as if he were a man, but as a piece of flesh, a meal. As Glom's grip loosened from the candle, he did not notice Gaelle's magic pull the light over the woman, who was now clearly illuminated by its eerie flicker. Her gray, tattooed skin wrapped in a tangle of cloth and belts, affixed to which a mix of arrowheads and spearheads jostled, that gave clear indication to her breathing. Proof that she was in fact very much alive. Her arms, however, impaled at the wrists and through the palms, were a mix of metal, flesh and dripping bone that twitched as they slowly rose to threaten the prone Glom. But just before those bloody points could reach Glom's face, a shadow stood between the two combatants as Ildrex landed and began a flurry of blows, critically hitting the woman with a claw to the shoulder and punching her twice more for 8 damage, breaking her nose and pushing back her small but intimidating frame. Grinning and licking the fresh blood, the woman locked eyes with Ildrex and lashed out at him, his arms instinctively blocking, mistaking her attack to be mere fists, as sharpened bone and steel cut into his scales, her own blood misting over the wound, forcing him to make a Constitution saving throw.
17.
Ildrex seemed hardly worse for wear beyond the loss of a few scales. However, the realization of the nature of her disfiguration gave him pause, forcing him and Gaelle to make sanity saving throws.
5.
4.
Both Gaelle and Ildrex felt true fear as they pondered what a woman of such sadistic nature could do to them if they dared approach, and each suffered 20 stress damage. And as Gaelle finished her mage hand cantrip, she pulled Glom, who was drawing his sword, to his feet. Glom, clearly frightened as well, clumsily thrust his scimitar forward, catching the woman in her exposed stomach for 13 damage.
Die, fiend!
However, this only seemed to shift her attention from Ildrex as she grabbed the blade with both hands, pulling it further through her body and herself toward Glom, frothing teeth bared.
I let go, maybe backpedaling slightly, but I want to backhand her with my wrist guard and stab her with my silver dagger.
The wrist guard's edge cracked the side of the woman's head immediately before the dagger sunk into her shoulder, an impressive series of strikes that seemed to give her pause. But as the shadows danced in the hovering candlelight, Gaelle now stood behind Ildrex, shifting her terrified expression into a sinister grin.
And stabbed Ildrex in the back with her dagger. Twice. Will a 12 and 14 hit?
Something about the situation heightened Ildrex's senses, and he was somehow able to feel the blade's presence even before it struck him, and he dodged out of the way by instinct. As Gaelle's form spun by, stitches tore and her face slipped, peeling down just far enough for him to see the true features beneath. The deep, hollow sockets of the silent lord that Ildrex had come to expect.
Do you seek the void, child?
Nope. I'm gonna try and, I don't know, fire breath the silent one who needs a dex saving throw to avoid 10 fire damage.
2.
As a burst of flame struck the silent one Glom and the woman, another shape dropped down from above. Soren, landing next to Ildrex, found himself in a very particular situation, where everyone around him was on fire, in a basement filled with corpses.
Silent one!
Ildrex's unconscious yelling
Silent
finally
one!
let loose a deep-rooted fear, pulling Soren's sanity into question.
Good gracious me, I am frightened. It is 6.
Frozen in place and wrought with 20 stress damage, Soren was immobile, joining the others well beyond healthy levels of stress. And now it was Gaelle's turn to act.
Well, having been set on fire, Gaelle is going to retaliate with an Eldritch Blast. 14.
The blast from Gaelle's hand put a hole in the stone behind where Ildrex's head was only moments before. He had dodged the oncoming attack. The bloodied woman used this distraction to strike at Glom, slashing his shoulder with her mangled arms for 5 damage and forcing him to make a Constitution saving throw.
16.
Seemingly unaffected and failing a perception roll, Glom, now on fire, looked back at Ildrex, confused.
Oh, so much better, Ildrex. This is lovely. Just what we needed. Now I'm burned and with an ankle problem.
I attack the monster woman thing.
7.
More concerned with putting out the fire than attacking the woman, Glom's half-hearted shield bash critically missed, giving her the opportunity to tackle him to the ground. However, after the quick flash of flames receded, Ildrex saw that Gaelle had moved to the other side of Glom, and thought he saw a second figure run off into the darkness that resembled Balmur.
I'm gonna let it go, opting to help Glom.
As the woman sat atop a terrified Glom, her mangle of hands and bone forcing his jaws open, blood freely dripping down her crushed nose toward his face, the trickle drawing closer and closer toward his open mouth, until a sudden crack ended her life. A swift horizontal kick instantly breaking her chin and neck, sending her sprawling off Glom. She fell atop her head, which was now wedged firmly under her back, and a tense silence filled the air as Soren's turn to act came.
Sipping Mai Tais.
Gaelle threw herself on the floor and used her clothing to pat down the rest of the fire and scowl at Ildrex. Glom, did you see what he did? He attacked me.
Glom began to slowly stand to face Ildrex, picking up the remnants of the candle which was now burning on both broken ends.
So Glom is moving in between Gaelle and Ildrex?
And I would imagine that Ildrex would be trying to move to help.
No, Glom does not let Ildrex approach Gaelle.
You've got a little, something there, Glom. There you go.
Gaelle, are you okay?
No! We were meant to be able to trust him and he just lit me on fire!
Yeah. Sorry about that. See, what happened was, you took your face off. Like, you had a face and then you took it off. And it...
No! No, I've always had a face, and I don't know what you think you saw in the dark, but you just set me and Glom on fire, and that is simply unacceptable.
I realize it was a hasty reaction, and I wish to make it up to you by not doing it again.
Do you think we can trust him? I mean, he just broke that woman's neck. Brother, did you see what he did?
I did not. My heel was cut pretty bad. I was trapped under that thing, Gaelle. A creature. It was not a woman. Then I saw magic. Fire. Blood. As far as I'm concerned, Ildrex saved my life. I think we need to just leave this room. We can talk about this later, when we're safe. Can you move, Gaelle?
I can move, but shouldn't we see what else is down here first?
I'm sorry, I seem to have missed the fun here. What happened? What were you fighting?
Nice of you to join us, Soren. We were having a lovely time with this monster thing, lady, until Ildrex here decided to attack my sister.
What did you see, Ildrex? You said she took her face off?
Yeah. There appeared to be a stitching holding her face to her body that fell for a moment, revealing the face of the Silent One.
You're being ridiculous. I don't even use foundation, just eyeliner and occasionally concealer. Maybe some skincare products to keep the wrinkles away.
Proper skin hydration is really important, even as a knight.
The sun can do terrible things to you. He's clearly had too much ale.
That's not a lie. I may have had too much beer. However,
my eyes have been known to always show me the truth.
I really understand what you're going through right now, Ildrex. Which is why I'm going to have to ask the two of you to understand. Ildrex has shown himself to be a true friend, even if he's made a mistake just now. We've all been through a really terrible situation. No, strike that. Some of the worst days of our lives since we've met, and, well, Ildrex may not have been entirely to blame for his actions just now. Mistakes like this in a dark murder cellar lit only by a confusingly broken candle, they happen, and we need to forgive him because he only wanted to protect us. We need to give him another chance. I'm so sorry you got hurt.
Me too. I'm sorry.
Fine. Was this the ghost we were meant to be killing? Is it this thing?
I don't know how to tell you this, but I've spoken with, Rousin. Apparently this creature that you've so beautifully killed, that looks painful. Apparently they were keeping it sealed in here as a sort of executioner, I suppose.
I'm sorry, Soren, you spoke with who?
You know that charred corpse upstairs? She's very lovely.
So you were dead, and now you speak to the dead?
Well, I've always spoken to the dead even before I was dead, but that's a very long story.
While this conversation is happening, I'll look around the room, particularly the corpse behind the dead woman that only Soren and I can see because dark vision is awesome. 20, not natural.
Ildrex scanned the room carefully, bracing himself mentally after his encounter with the mutilated woman. In the cramped darkness, a filthy room of smoke and musk, his eyes immediately set upon a small pit filled with humanoid remains, partly consumed, mismatched, and aged by at least a few days.
Yeah, I'm very interested in those. 18 for sanity. Ildrex has seen his fair share of dead humans this week and isn't too upset by it. 2-foot deep pit, fairly wide, a few dead humans, Hell Shield iconography. Oh, bones from something chicken-sized. Yep, chicken. Pretty fresh, too. Minor trinkets. I really don't feel like reaching deep enough into the pit to get 7 or so copper, 3 silver, 2 gold. They're pretty deep in there too, so I'm not reaching for them. Oh, a little band with a half moon or something on it. Maybe a friendship bracelet.
A what?
A friendship bracelet, a token worn to honor the time and energy one puts into an important friendship. This is the one Ayas made for me when we were on watch together for the first time.
Okay, well, I'll pick that up and walk back and say, as curious as it is that Soren can speak with the dead, the side quest story checks out, and it seems like there's a few, possibly a few remains here. Oh, and then, has anybody seen this before? And I'd show the group the symbol on the bracelet. Also, again, very sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're sort of skipping over a major problem some of us are having right now.
With a history check of 14, that has to have something to do with the All Shadow, or perhaps the Darklands. I wouldn't keep it as a friendship bracelet.
So Glom just sort of half turns to Gaelle, but he's keeping his eye on Ildrex.
Gaelle, this is our chance to part ways. Head south. Maybe meet back with Sir Percy. Things could get worse traveling with this bunch of weirdos.
I think once you've been set on fire, things can't get much worse.
If you say so, Gaelle.
For those listening to the podcast without visuals, Ildrex opened his mouth 4 or 5 different times to speak, raised his hand, almost spoke again, and closed his mouth with a terribly defeated expression.
So let's assume that, as in the forest, we can't trust what we see. Perhaps we could have a rule that we don't attack those of us in the party unless we're attacked first. How's that sound, everyone?
Sounds perfectly fair to me.
I guess I left out the fact that she did attack me, or it seemed like she attacked.
3 sets of eyes stared at Ildrex.
I'm not justifying anything. No excuses. We're good. We're good.
So about that rule?
No attacking the 4 of us first.
I can agree to that.
And just so that we can put this issue to rest, is there any way I can prove that I'm not the Silent One? Maybe with...
Gaelle?
Maybe I can...
Would you please show everyone that you don't have a stitches in your neck?
Okay. And Gaelle holds down her neck to show everyone, holding her gloved, slightly charred hands. Fuck, it's just me. There's nothing to see.
Yeah, I don't see any stitches, but you have really good skin.
Like I said, skincare routines and hydration.
Never miss a day. I mean, there's one detail I'm still struggling with, Soren. How you talk to a corpse without using witch magic.
One moment, Glom. So, you spoke... I'm sorry, I'm finding this very difficult. You spoke to a corpse, and it talked back. What did the corpse say to you, Soren?
Well, the corpse seemed to imply that the Hell Shields may be oppressors of a sort, or perhaps retaliatory enforcement of laws broken. Not exactly welcomed visitors either way, if I understood correctly.
I can't believe the walking corpse is the sane one in this moment. And why did they want us... You said this thing was being kept. By whom?
It appeared to be made, somehow, by the villagers themselves. I've seen something similar before. Those infected by his blood. It takes particularly vile acts to bring this sort of thing about. Anyway, the corpse, Rousin, identified herself as a part of a group of villagers that had lost hope.
Well, you all keep talking about all this really good stuff. I'm gonna go look at the bodies. Glom gives up, trying to stitch up his foot, takes a few steps towards the corpse pit, and rolls. And, okay, it's not a 7, it's an 8 for sanity. Just need to get away from all the babbling. Well, yep, that's a pile of bodies. What do we got down here? Well, these look like bodies, normal bodies. Oh, those are... Oh, well, that's not an arm.
While this conversation is going on, Ildrex really isn't paying attention to what's being said, but more has, like, eyes on Gaelle. Just, like, is, like, watching her.
Another stare that could not be translated to podcast form.
Not like weird eyes. Don't be weird about it. I'm just watching for any change in either appearance or demeanor or anything like that. And insight and perception are the same. That would be 16.
Gaelle rolled a dice for no particular reason.
16.
Rats.
Leaning over the festering pit of corpses and fluids proved to be too much for Glom, who took 5 stress damage and began to vomit on top of them uncontrollably. However, at the sight of vomit, even his own, Glom proceeded to vomit even harder, as for him, vomiting was generally contagious.
Oh, the smell. I can't smell vomit.
After emptying the contents from both his glass and Gaelle's from earlier, because he did in fact say he drank both, he noticed the symbol of Ukathe in flames, the emblem of the Hell Shields, stamped onto a breastplate, branded onto a piece of skin, stitched onto a coin purse, all of which were now covered in Glom's previous meal.
Sorry, were you looking for something?
Glom walks back, wiping his mouth on the back of his gauntlet. Nope, no, I'm all good. Just bodies over there.
Good.
So, we've killed the ghost. What are we supposed to do now?
Well, we were promised a reward. Should we return and claim what's ours?
More of that ale.
Did we want to bring the corpse to them as proof?
If we want to get paid.
Right.
Doing so might put the villagers at risk.
So no then.
We can bring it out. Are there any, I guess...
Are we bringing morality into this, or do we just want coin? We were hired to kill a monster that Soren made it sound like might have been some kind of protector for the villagers.
It certainly seems like it's sort of an emergency measure of sorts.
Huh. I don't know, maybe this abomination was their weapon. Either way, I think it's likely the Hell Shields didn't know what we were walking into.
Agreed. So, potentially, now we have just destroyed the thing protecting the villagers. We're responsible.
So, we've seen maybe 12 villagers in this town, apart from the Hell Shields. They seemed like the normal villager sort, doing villager things like sweeping dirt, carrying brioche, petting woolly ibex.
It strikes me that perhaps we should have asked one of the villagers if they were being horribly treated or taken over by these Hell Shields, but too late now.
Another hasty reaction. Sorry, I'm just really fond of side quests.
So, since we've already killed the thing, perhaps we should turn it in? I mean, what's the worst that could happen now, given it's already dead?
I don't know. But I think you're right. I think we should go and get the reward, or whatever it was, the free room and board, and was he not going to tell us...
20 gold.
20 gold. And I believe he was going to tell us the letter he had written.
Contents of a note for the larger bounty we're hunting.
Can I give one more sweep of the area just to sort of look for anything out of place? Exits, etc.?
Sure, Ildrex didn't let Travis finish the description. I mean, Ildrex got distracted by the corpse pit. So there could have been something important we missed?
19. So, I see a few things of interest. A small hole we could crawl into that goes a bit deeper than I can see. I think only Gaelle could fit into it. If I had to guess, I'd say it goes east, perhaps in the direction of the blacksmith. Also, this is interesting. There appears to be an actual stone passage we can all fit in. Yeah, behind this burlap tapestry thing. Right here. I almost didn't notice it.
That's where I thought I saw someone run during the fight.
Well, looking around, there isn't a trap behind the stairs, but, there's a great spot to hide and cut someone's feet as they walk down.
That's a good point.
And I'm pretty sure that our culprit snuck past us during the fight and fled down the larger hidden passage, so follow me quietly as you can.
The team did not question Soren, following him into the darkness, and they soon heard a muted groan of wood or stone being dragged in the distance. The sound stopped almost as quickly as it began, and after only a minute or so of walking, they came upon a trapdoor above them, under which was a ladder. Glom gave a silent hand signal before attempting to push the door open, failing and realizing that something heavy was blocking their exit. Thus, a skills challenge began. Skills challenges are similar to combat, and simply put, the number of collective successes or failures will either take the party closer or further from their intended goal. I'll explain these in greater detail in a future episode, but for the sake of runtime, this episode currently being slated over 12,000 words, I won't add anything unnecessary to it.
I'd like to just run at the door and start pushing, because obviously somebody has to.
I'll follow and help.
Glom's in there too with a strength of 20.
Glom actually should probably be the one bashing the door if his foot didn't hurt so much. An assisted strength roll at advantage with a 19 and a 2, so 22?
The trio moved in unison, physically shattering the wood of the trapdoor and causing the heavy blockage above to fall down. A mix of charred brick, weighted stone, and part of a pulpit fell dangerously toward them as they began to emerge into the fresh night air. However, Ildrex's quick thinking and strength pulled Glom and Gaelle out of the way. Due to failing his role by the slimmest of margins, Soren was struck squarely in the face. The team's first failure against their first success.
Pulpits, my only weakness.
Glom is trying to come up and draw his bow to peer out and see who's there.
Hobbled, having expended his double-ended candle earlier that evening and holding a bow with readied arrow, Glom rolled a 4, the team's second failure, sweat stinging as it brought heavy streaks of black eyeliner into his eyes. He could only make out the lights of Ilmater's Hope in the distant night, and the smell of fresh brioche wafting from somewhere nearby. Gaelle followed close behind.
With a 19, Gaelle is employing her arcane arts to track whatever it is. I can see something running in the distance. Follow me.
With their second collective success against 2 failures, the next roll would decide the outcome of the skills challenge. The trio continued in a full-out run, but ultimately Soren's luck had run just short again as he tripped over a rope tied between 2 sturdy trees, and was swiftly struck in the face by a small branch it seemed to trigger somehow.
Why does this seem familiar?
Gaelle, Ildrex, and Glom hopped over Soren and noted that the creature, perhaps humanoid, appeared to be running toward the dead pines at full speed. They felt that they could not easily catch this individual or creature until perhaps half a mile well into the dead pines, and thus the skills challenge concluded in failure.
Okay, yeah. Calling it here. We are not following them.
There you are, Ildrex. Did you see who it was? Oh, my ankle is... My burned ankle still hurts, Ildrex.
I did not see who it could have been.
It was potentially human. It was running fast, but it went straight into the woods.
Yeah.
Just one figure?
A voice from the floor asked. Ildrex took a deep breath, exhaled, and replied a moment later, immediately fully recovered from his sprint.
Yes. Definitely one humanoid in shape.
Do you think one human person would have been able to try to barricade the door with the pulpit like they did?
They would have needed help.
Seems odd.
I'm just curious because the Silent One, assuming it was our charming, faceless Hellion, typically works alone. Assuming it's not actually Gaelle, of course. No offense intended.
None taken, but it's really just me.
I did not see a second creature.
Can I find tracks? 23.
Glom backtracked ever so slightly and made a discovery.
There was more than one. Look, here. A second set of footprints. Back this way. Both barefoot. Somewhere in size, maybe between an elf or half-dwarf. What do we know? They both had 2 feet, 10 toes, and there were 2 of them. Is that helpful?
Interesting.
Why would they try to track us?
Well, there's the basic betrayal. Perhaps the Hell Shields didn't want to pay us, but they seem fond of their boots, and it would be just plain strange for them to work with the creature they hired us to kill. And then there's something about Rowena and Sindri enlisting the help of children to do something. I forget.
Yes, Soren, story is very important. However, right over there, a door just opened and closed, and these footprints lead right over there to that house where that door just closed.
I turn.
A quarter of a mile away, a door clearly closed on the house furthest to the right in a small cluster of homes.
Should we follow?
Might be a good idea.
Yeah. I'm good for some answers with a side of revenge.
I will head that direction.
Glom limps along behind.
The team walked toward the small cabin, its orange timbers and smoking chimney, housing unknown sinister secrets within. Its singular window was closed, a brown curtain drawn before it, and its only entrance, A plain door painted red seemed almost too simple, too mundane to lead to whatever fiends lurked within. Here, evil hid in plain sight, masked in the simple and mundane.
So, Glom, I don't want you getting hurt, us getting hurt, just until your ankle feels better. Would you mind stepping away a little to, look back the way we came? Just to make sure nothing's following us.
Ildrex and Soren glanced back, clearly able to detect that nothing was following them.
Ah, good thinking, Gaelle.
Okay, so while he's looking at the church, Gaelle will use Mage Hand for the second time tonight to gently open the door. And it's locked. Or stuck, but very likely locked.
No one's following us, Gaelle.
I wonder if we should check somewhere around the building for another window, rather than going straight in the door?
Well, why doesn't one of you knock and one or more of us can go to the back?
I don't mind knocking. Put myself in harm's way if you have my back.
Right. I'm just gonna hide. Right here. If anything happens, just say the code word.
Glom nodded at Soren and Gaelle and did his best to hide, in plain sight behind a young tree, 6 paces from the door.
You coming, Ildrex?
Yeah, I'll go around back.
Best friends Ildrex and Gaelle were once again reunited in a shared task, walking toward the back of the cottage.
Gaelle, watch him, Gaelle.
It's the buddy cop movie coming.
On their way to the back, they passed a number of empty cages, large enough to house chickens or perhaps rabbits, before reaching another window, curtains similarly drawn. As Soren knocked on the front door, audible clearly even at this distance, the curtain briefly moved. A pair of surprised eyes were just barely visible beyond before the curtain closed again.
Person inside? Your home is very small, so you cannot be very large. I am, and your curtains look like they could be lit on fire with ease. Perhaps you might want to open the front door and speak with our friend peacefully before there are further problems. We would just like to talk.
The front door groaned open, and Soren found himself face to face with a young human woman, a villager he'd seen before in Ilmater's Hope. Her skin seemed so much darker when compared to his own gray hands, and her hair, wild and in tangles, all the darker. She held any fear of him in place with hatred, an expression that Soren found curious, familiar.
I'll attempt to hit the abomination in the face with my bow. 14 to hit, 8 damage to its face.
Her face split open as an arrow cracked through just below the cheek, sending her screaming into the void, then suddenly silent.
Lyasha.
Soren's eyes flickered as they alone witnessed the child fall into the pit of that hellish bastion, until they again found focus on the woman before him, barely concealed knife in one hand, unmistakable fury in her voice.
Dreamcarver Soren, what brings you to my door at this hour?
Soren simply forgot. He stood before the woman, confused. Stress, it seemed, had placed a strange spell over him, as he detached himself from his memory.
Hold up my hands slightly disarmingly and just say, hello, I'm sorry to bother you. No, that's polite for the circumstances. I have no idea what to say.
How about what you are doing here?
Is she barefoot?
Yes. No shoes. Barefoot.
So I'd just like to kind of, with Glom, keep her in the doorway, not threateningly, but make it clear that she's not going to get past us. Are you a villager of Ilmater's Hope?
Yes.
How long have you lived here?
She spat past Soren's feet.
Why would you waste my time with such pointless questions after everything you've done? Perhaps it is true how the travel has changed all of you. I have lived here my whole life. I was born here, was married here, had a family here. And after your failures, I am all that is left of that family.
I sense that we knew each other?
Not well, so I don't hold it against you. You simply promised that you would help bring my children home among the others that were taken.
You were the bunny lady, the family that worked with Phlegia.
Yes. We didn't have the heart to eat them when the famine came, and letting them go is the reason my husband is dead. What can I do for you?
The woman was near tears now, gripping the blade with white knuckles. Soren saw the window for conversation closing.
How long have the Hell Shields been in Ilmater's Hope?
Long enough to take the inn the stables and the mayor's house.
Did they come as invaders or as aid?
We are not subjects, not peasants owing fealty to some wealthy lord who hasn't worked a day in his life. We are citizens of the Bright Vale, and we can take care of ourselves. Or do you ask such a foolish question?
Because you and I are of the same mind. Though it took me longer to realize the full nature of the situation here than I'd care to admit. My friends and I would like very much to be of assistance to Ilmater's hope. I owe you that much.
The woman scanned her immediate surroundings before motioning for Glom to come closer.
Come inside. Yeah, all of you.
Thank you.
Glom makes a bird call sound that him and Gaelle used as children for all's clear.
When Gaelle hears the sound, she relaxes and makes her way to the front of the house without a word.
I follow, perhaps around just a few paces back.
The team entered the small single-room home, illuminated by the light of the cooking stove and a few scented candles. Fragrant hints of vegetable soup lightly danced through the air around a central table, bedcot, and 3 functional chairs. Remnants of a 4th chair and various torn pages from books were visible as kindling within a pile of wood by the fire as the door closed quietly behind Ildrex.
Glom tries to find any kind of chair to just slide into.
Glom sat and stared at a small white and gray rabbit nestled beneath the cushion of the chair.
No, stay off.
With a sense of comical and highly distracting roles over the next few minutes, he was able to gain the hare's trust, enough for it to be held in his lap and calmly pet, restoring 5 stress damage.
It's actually quite soft.
Meanwhile, Lyasha looked at each of the team with a silent, bitter sadness before continuing their conversation.
The one beneath the church was our protector, the strongest of us.
More like the most unhinged.
We truly just want to help. We feel that we have a pretty good idea of what happened, but what we don't know is why it happened.
How much do you know?
Some months back, all of the children in the village went missing. I went with a group of people to bring them home, and I failed. I'm terribly sorry. Looking at the number of chairs, you must have been among those that were hurt by my teams. By my failure.
What about Our Lady Filia? Is there hope that she could also return? The Hellshields won't tell us anything, and the others who came back can no longer be trusted. Hyas was only looking out for his own son, after all.
I'm sorry to say that Phlegia will not be returning under any circumstances. She was killed by some kind of dimensional trap. I wish I could explain it better. It was so confusing, even for me, but she, from what I've come to understand, was killed by some kind of evil version of herself. I'm truly sorry I couldn't be there to stop it, close as I was.
She was my patron. The witch who scowled but didn't mean it. The teacher and friend who gave my family joy. She introduced me to my husband, you know.
Lyasha's disposition shifted as she glared at Gaelle.
Our future was taken. Our children were taken. My Daniel, my little Constance. We prayed to the gods, made offerings, but they would not help us. We begged our patron witch and prayed for days after she left. A stranger visited our village. A man, a prophet, who said that our children would not be coming back. He spoke with such certainty that it caused violence among us. Search parties were organized, new ones. Our best trackers, hunters, and trappers ventured into the dead pines to find any trace of what happened, and of the 3 parties sent, the only one to return from those cursed woods had no news. Our voices went raw from prey to the new gods, so eventually, as winter drew near and hope seemed crazy, we prayed to the old gods as well. Yet none of them heard our pleas. Or perhaps they just didn't care, and so violence returned to our hearts. and to survive the winter without our best trappers. We had only one option left.
The old ways.
Some of the oldest villagers know of Saint who can sometimes be enticed to offer aid. He who is feared. He who quietly walks among us. He who sees all within the veil delights in our suffering. And for his aid, we had to prove our faith. It didn't take much for us to be convinced, the whole village to be convinced. The stranger was charming, knowledgeable, and all of his prophecies came to pass. You must understand, he would say things and they would simply happen.
Who was this man?
He called himself Cole, though I don't think it was his real name. He spoke of a god older than the other gods, forgotten, older than time itself. One who would actually hear our broken cries and act if we but called upon his servants in the proper way. And the stranger offered us a way. It was a very dark winter, Soren.
This god that Cole introduced you to, do you know its true name?
It comes from a time before names. And yet we seek him and the change he will bring with his passing.
I see. And what about his saint?
His saint is similarly nameless, though we refer to it as the Silent One.
Why would you ask that? Why would you ask something evil for help?
They were the only ones who would help us.
So you're saying the entire village now worships the Silent One and the Nameless God?
Those that still live took part in the ritual, though it's broken many of them. I also do not wish to dwell on what happened during the Dark Night. We are all ashamed of our actions, yet wouldn't do hell again if it would bring our children back.
I'm sorry I didn't return.
What good is any of it?
I'm so sorry. We truly tried to find your children.
And now Lord Osmerk sends men to make us pay for our transgressions. He has no right. My husband went after you, you know? He was a good man. He liked you, but he wasn't a hero. Where were you for so long?
It's hard to explain. We were beyond a gate, one where time moved differently. For us, it was only a few days. In truth, we were chasing as quickly as we could, but it appears that some months have passed beyond the gate. I remember you from before all of this. You're not a bad person.
None of us were. I am sorry for your friend's ankle.
You're remarkably well spoken for a simple rabbit farmer.
I used to be the primary teacher for the Children of the Hope.
I'm sorry.
Regardless, you killed their only chance at freedom.
So, the woman in the crypt, the faithful, she was a villager before the ritual and transformation?
Yes.
And there was only one person given that gift during the ritual?
She was the only one among us with enough strength to drink the blood. She was the best of us, willing to do anything to help.
A desperate and terrible act. I'm sorry you were brought to it. And I'm presuming that the ghost story was just a ruse to keep the Hell Shields away from the church, so you could live your lives while a monster stalked them from the shadows one at a time.
When you put it like that, it sounds so much worse. Why did you have to get involved? Why did you have to help them?
I'm sorry, in truth, we thought we were helping all of you.
With a 19 persuasion check, the woman looked up at Soren, rage and hatred burnt out, giving way to something else.
I sense the truth in your words, and it hurts. I want to hate you. I want to take this knife and give my last breath to stab you. But I can't find it in me. I just feel so empty.
You don't have to forgive me.
But I do nonetheless, Soren. I just don't know where to go from here.
Shh, the bunny is sleeping. But this is important. What can we do to help the village?
If you want to help us, you could kill the Hell Shields.
How many Hell Shields in total are there?
I believe there are 5.
And how many villagers left?
Let's remember that these are turnip farmers, elderly trappers and widows. They stand no chance against 5 fully equipped and trained Hell Shields of the War Goddess.
We may be able to take 5 Hell Shields, he says, whispering surreptitiously.
Definitely if they take their faces off. Glom looks at Ildrex.
The concern is not if we can take them. My concern is the presence of the Silent One here, and the reverence toward this nameless god as well.
Yes.
Do you seek him? You have seen him?
I don't say... I mean, we've seen him.
Then our prayers might really be answered then. The world reborn into peace.
Good. I hope you're right. Would it be too much to ask of you if we could chat in here alone for a few minutes?
A lot has happened.
That will be fine. I will go borrow something from my neighbor and return in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Don't eat my soup.
Wouldn't dare.
So, Soren, would you like to recap the lovely position we put ourselves in for our lovely compatriots?
Oh, well, I'd love to. It appears that we've killed the only defense these villagers have against the invasion of mercenaries, whether these or the next band that comes along.
Yes, and we left out the best part, I believe, which is they're worshipping the very god that had something to do with taking their children away in the first place, it sounds.
It certainly sounds that way. I know that fear and desperation can lead to incredible things. However, it seems that they are unaware that the cult of the nameless god took their children, and at this point I don't think that telling them would do much good, as it's literally all they have left.
So they now want us to kill the Hell Shields.
In the name of the nameless god.
Yeah, I can't say I'd be comfortable killing the Hell Shields and leaving the village in its current state. They're pretty much defenseless.
Maybe we tell the Hell Shields to find home elsewhere. Perhaps there's reason in approaching...
Well, normally I would side with the villagers.
Yeah.
but they're worshipping...
No, we're in a rock, between a rock and it's a bad place we're in. The Hell Shields might not know what these villagers have gotten into, and if they realize that maybe home is greener, the pastures are greener over the hill, they might just leave. And then...
Except we just took out the one creature they were afraid of.
Do they know that, though?
Oh, good point, Gaelle.
So if we continue to propagate the myth that there is still a ghost, then the Hell Shields may want to leave, or perhaps leave the villagers alone. We'd have to, of course, give up our reward, but the villagers retain their myth, and we don't have to kill any Hell Shields.
And we go about our merry way without the nameless god and without killing the Hell Shields.
Feels wrong.
I think it feels wrong because there's the possibility that someday they might find out that the ghost does not exist or was not what they believed and return to kill the entire village.
And also, are all the villagers worshipping the nameless god or whatever, or are there some who just want their children back?
She did say there were some in the village who do not follow the nameless god, so there could be innocence in play.
So to go north is to accept gold from a group that are just taking advantage of defenseless villages. Can we not just leave this area? Do we just walk away?
I've been thinking along that vein. As tragic as it is, these people's children are never coming back. Their village is destroyed. The mayor is dead. Most people have already left. It is an upsetting situation, but not one we necessarily need to get involved with. If it's already at a dead end, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
do we offer safe passage for those who wish to go south?
North.
And there is the concern, too, that if we do anything against the Hell Shields and want to continue north to find Rowena and Sindri and pass through Auden, that we would be branded as criminals of Eastwood, heading into a now enemy territory if we take any action against the Hell Shields whatsoever. Again, a very hard, rocking situation.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps we can find out who is not beholden to the nameless god. It's a small group.
You want to take a census?
Sitting in the house of one of their worshippers, talking.
We could just
Who's
ask.
already angry at us?
We'll smooth it over. We won't eat her soup before she comes back.
That's step one.
Step one.
We've just had a small sip, and it's actually quite nice. But we mustn't have any more.
I do think we need more information. As dangerous as it is to go around asking questions without picking a side, I think we do need to talk to the villagers, find out how many are behind this nameless god, and I do like the idea of attempting, as long as we can, getting away with the ghost still being in play, as far as the Hell Shields are concerned. But that is a very dangerous gambit.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we just go back and say, didn't kill the ghost. We'll try again tomorrow, and then we can go do a little asking. You know, are you about the nameless god? Do you like somebody else?
Hi, have you heard the good book of the Nameless God?
It's not so good, or is it?
Well, there's a small problem in that the church has a wide open, broken door down to a bunch of bodies with no monster. So the first Hell Shield that walks past it, probably going to peek their head down.
I wonder if we can encourage one or two of them towards the church. Potentially, to create a situation where it would appear that there's a ghost in play there.
Oh, I can make it appear as though there's a ghost in play. Don't you worry about that.
I was gonna say, Soren, don't you ghost?
I could get some guards there. How long would you need?
I think I could scare them off in 30 seconds.
Well, summoning actual ghosts seems better than what I was going to suggest.
The door opened abruptly, and Lyasha looked at the team with surprised caution.
Sorry, the soup needs to be stirred.
Okay.
She slowly walked through awkward silence and began to stir the soup.
We were actually going to stir it for you, but we didn't even want to go so far as to touch it that much. So, yes, please.
Thank you.
All right, well, I will go and get a guard. Give me 12 minutes. You can explain to this lovely young lady how we're going to keep her myth alive.
Oh, the guards already think that the creature is still alive.
How do you know that?
Because you all died fighting it and disappeared.
What's in that soup?
Mostly water, but also carrots, parsley, and onion. I have discussed it with the others. You can have the soup if you leave tonight. I can also offer you what we have from our town's communion coffers for gold.
You should keep that, regardless.
Yeah.
If this is true, if we leave tonight, what will happen to the Hell Shields? Will they leave town?
They'll stay here, but they'll stay away from the church, which will allow us to still meet in private. And if you're not going to kill the Hell Shields, then you should help us reinforce the story of the cursed church by departing under the shadow of night. Many saw you enter.
And what is your plan as a follower of the Nameless God?
I don't know what I'm going to do, but that seems like the most likely outcome.
Glom stands up. You wouldn't happen to have any bandages of any kind, would you? I've got a nasty cut on my ankle.
Again, I'm sorry about that. Yes, here.
As the conversation continued, Lyasha applied a small healing salve, then wrapped an orange bandage around Glom's ankle, before helping him get his boot back on.
If we were, hypothetically, to remove the Hell Shields from the village, would you have any reason to continue worshipping this nameless god, or would things be able to go back to normal for you?
There are no children in this village, and we have no future. The strongest of us are gone, and those of us that remain have very little left to live for. And we'll be a ghost town within the decade. All we can do now is pray for a better world, reborn into peace, free of strife, free of the pain we feel. We are no threat to anyone, if that's what you fear. With the ghost, the Hell Shields cannot turn our church into a staging ground for whatever they are planning, but without it we are defenseless. Let us simply fade away in peace.
Is there nowhere for you to run? No other village to the south you could flee with your friends?
The roads are dangerous. Not all of us have the resources to caravan, and fewer of us would willingly leave our home even in the face of death. This is all that we have left.
You have 4 gold.
As an entire village, yes. Your foot is wrapped, Sir Vogelberg.
Well, Glom sits back down. Okay, Gaelle, tell me when you figure this out.
So let's assume that we take your offer and leave the village. We continue on our way north, and you continue to propagate the story of the haunted church, now having consumed the lives of 4 additional heroes. Can we stay here for the night and leave in the morning? We've been through quite an ordeal, and we could really use the rest before going on the long hike to Warden.
You could stay at my cousin's house. It has not been lived in for a few months now. And is north of town, just beyond the fields.
That may be our best option for the night.
If you agree with the plan, then I shall take you.
Can we bring some soup with us?
Fine.
Just a spoonful.
Lyasha ladled a small bowl of soup for each of them.
Thank you. You don't have any ale, do you?
Nope.
Lyasha guided the team even further from town, following the north road through the farmlands beyond the village proper. 5 minutes later, they eventually came upon a small house in notably poorer condition than the one they were just in. Lyasha rummaged through her pack until she found a key and showed the team inside. A lone, partly torn mattress was the only feature of note beyond bare dirt floors, as the cabin had long been ransacked.
Thank you.
I will bring a chicken soup from my neighbor in the morning, and you can safely depart after you've had a full rest.
Just to be clear, we will leave in the morning, like you've asked us to. Good luck. And again, I'm sorry.
I forgive you, Soren Arkwright.
Glom noisily slurps some soup. Let me tell you, every day gets better with you two.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, you're being sarcastic. Never mind.
Sorry.
I'm a little hurt. So, Achilles' heel gets the mattress, I'm assuming? I don't mind a corner somewhere. There's a lot less guts and maggots in here.
It's certainly nicer than the crypt. Since it's just the one room, I'll take the corner opposite Soren. I feel like we can just go to bed at this point. No need for a watch.
Yeah, I think we're good to just go to sleep at this point. Ooh, I don't smell any sort of rotting presence with us anymore. Do you?
No. Now that you mention it, it's gone.
Glom slides down a few feet away from Gaelle, who's back against the wall.
Then let's not waste our energy. We'll need it for our walk tomorrow.
Sure thing.
And with that, the team rested indoors, recovering all remaining levels of exhaustion, as well as 6 points of stress damage, with their collective faith in one another secured, and what remained of the village of Ilmater's hope behind them. Dark Dice, Chapter 6b, The Worst Kinds of Monsters, featuring Jeff Goldblum as the Silent One, Peter Lewis as Soren Arkwright, Holly Billinghurst and Sean Howard as Gaelle and Glom Vogelberg, Russ D. Moore as Ildrex, Ryan Philbrook as Neddard, Erika Sanderson as Rousin, Juliana Gutiérrez as Lyasha, and Travis Vengroff as Dungeon Master. This episode had dialogue editing by Sarah Buchynski of Polarity AudioWorks and Travis Vengroff. Produced with additional editing and sound design by Travis Vengroff, with mixing and mastering by Dayn Leonardson. This episode featured music by Stephen Malin, Brandon Boone, and Travis Vengroff. To support this production and get access to bonus releases, music, world lore, art, and early access to future adventures and D&D materials, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/foolandscholar. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram as @DarkDicePod. This is a Fool and Scholar production. Thank you for listening.